going to go ahead and go into our next segment. I hope I get this right. We're next, Omar Yusuf. Omar Yusuf, raise your hand. Ready to go? Let's go. I love the energy. So before you even get in, sorry. So he's a co-founder of Scene TV and a multi-award winning journalist. Right? Isn't that amazing? Let's go.
Oh, I got this. Assalamu alaikum. How are we, everybody? It's good to be here. I've flown in from Australia. As you heard, I'm the co-founder of Scene TV. We are invested in by Snapchat. We've got 8 million subscribers. We earn millions of dollars a year doing videos on social media. But the purpose that I'm here today is to talk to you guys about how to go viral. And I hope we can apply this to everything from your startups and your businesses to Palestine. It's very weird being in America right now. Like, when you look at Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're a bit like drug dealers. They're like, I feel like I'm going to lose my visa for giving this speech, but let's go with it. They're like, publicly, they're like, we need a ceasefire, right? We're doing everything we can to expedite getting a ceasefire as quickly as possible. Is that a good American accent? It's not bad. They're trying, right? We need a ceasefire. But at the same time, they're providing as much arms as quickly as possible. It's like a drug dealer saying to an addict, Netanyahu is the addict in this case, like, you should quit, man. You got a problem. And Netanyahu's just like, just give me some more stuff, man. I'll get the job done. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's a weird speech. Muslim Tech Fest. Having said that, public sentiment is shifting in perhaps the biggest public shift in public sentiment in our entire lifetimes, for sure. I mean, you might not feel it or see it here as much in the US as you do in other parts of the world. But in the UK right now, 1 million people are showing up for these protests. Even where I live in Australia, you can't drive around without seeing Palestinian flags. It's almost like, where's my Palestinian flag? This has become a global cultural icon, right? This is, I ran the London Marathon this year, and there were more Palestinian flags than there were British flags. It was unreal. The keffiyeh, who's rocking a keffiyeh in the room? Right? It's become a cultural symbol. Who's eating a kunafa in the room? Become a cultural system. Like, we're just seeing this massive cultural shift, and once you know, you can't unknow. Once you've seen and understood the occupation, my parents are South African. My family is South African. We are intimately familiar with apartheid, right? Now, here's the thing. For the longest of time, there's been a lot of money here in the US spent trying to promote the central lie. The central lie was a story that terra nullius. This is a land without people, right? Same story they told in Australia, same story the colonials told in so many parts of the world. Or, these people are so dangerous, they're terrorists, that we need to occupy them. We have to. We have no choice. We've got to put them in cages. They're so dangerous. That's the story that's being told. Now, as we start to see this shift along this spectrum, it's because the central truth is emerging. The central truth has been delivered to us as well as stories. This time, stories from people on the ground. And the central truth is that this is apartheid. The central truth is that this is an illegal occupation, as recognized by Amnesty International, United Nations, so many countries around the world. But at its core, it is storytelling. Storytelling, often, especially in our tech space, it's seen as fluff, right? We're like, I was really excited to hear Harun say that they were putting as much money as they could into the marketing budget, because effectively that's storytelling. But storytelling is not fluff. Storytelling is the stuff. It is what changes hearts and minds. It's what determines who we vote for. It's everything. My name's Yusuf Omar. I've been a journalist and foreign correspondent for about 14, 15 years. I used to work at CNN International in London. I've covered war zones like Syria, Congo, Egypt, Sudan. I've been to about 100 countries around the world. I've seen the very best and worst of humanity. When I was at CNN in London, I was with Christian Amanpour and the whole team. There were 200 international journalists in the London office. How many do you think were Muslim? At the time when I was there in 2016, 2017, I was the only Muslim in the international office that I knew of. They used to come and ask me for my opinion on stories around the Muslim world. I was like, go and ask a good Muslim. Like, you're asking the wrong guy. Like, they lack so much cultural diversity within the news organization. They are unable and incapable of accurately reporting on our global and interconnected world. There has to be a better way. We realize that like 1% of the internet, the very top of the iceberg, can create content. And that's because it's actually really, really difficult to go viral every single day, right? Mr. Beast knows how to do it, right? So he goes viral consistently. Game of Thrones knows how to do it, so they go viral consistently. The Netflix of the world and the influence of the world, they know how to do that. But most of us consume. By show of hands, how many people have reached 1 million people in the last week online? 1. What did you post? Oh, sick. Follow him. Well, he doesn't need you. He's got 1 million people that watched him this week. The point is, most people don't know how to go viral. We have these people down here, 3 billion people with mobile phones. They have Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. They have distribution, right? They can reach large audiences. They have iMovie, Adobe. They can edit. But if you don't know how to tell a story, you don't go anywhere. And I think that's part of the issue that we find in places like Palestine and other parts of the world. Even if they have mobile devices, if they don't know how to reach large audiences, they're not going to go anywhere. It's also a really interesting business case. Right now, when you look at the traditional media landscape, most traditional media is incredibly expensive and incredibly not scalable. If you work at Vice or CNN or NBC, if you want to go from 10 to 100 videos a month, you need to get 10 times more video editors, 10 times more cameras, 10 times more computers and all that equipment. It's not scalable at all. And it's incredibly expensive. If you are operating like a Now This or a BuzzFeed, like take Vice News, BuzzFeed, they both closed down their news divisions. They're operating at television costs, but yet trying to earn digital revenue. Those numbers don't add up. Ideally, you want to be incredibly high volume, low cost. That's where it gets really interesting in the storytelling space. So in my previous slide, I told you guys that there's 3 billion people with mobile phones who can all tell stories if you teach them how. And now I'm saying if you teach them how, there's a really interesting opportunity. That's exactly what we did. Wow, these slides got really messed up, but go with me. Basically, we trained up 20,000 people in 140 countries how to tell stories with their phones. We built a mojo network, mobile journalists. We then created a series of tools. These tools remotely direct you through the storytelling process. So you can open your camera and you have all the instructions that you need to tell your story. Then we were able to curate that into shows, and we publish these shows on Snapchat and all these other platforms. We grew 8 million subscribers. We do 1 billion views a year. We've published about 5,000 videos, and most of our audience are here in the US, right? They're very young American women. This is the practical slide, and this is for you guys to hopefully start telling stories either around your business or if you're working with a cause like Palestine or something like that. The first part of the viral video formula is the idea. It must tick these 3 boxes to be a viral video, in our opinion, and from our data. 1, is it visual? Is the story visually engaging? If you had a story about, let's just say it's the Olympics right now, blind cyclists. Would a blind cyclist be a visual story? What do you guys think? Yeah? Not really. And the reason I say that is because a blind cyclist and a regular cyclist look exactly the same. Unless they crash, right? Like, because I'm scrolling on my social media feed, Kim Kardashian, funny cat video, I'm not stopping for the regular cyclist. Like, it has to be something quite insane or quite absurd. So stories have to be visual. 2, they have to be debatable. If I give you a story saying, hey, you should recycle plastic because it's bad for the ocean, that's not debatable, so it's not that interesting, right? It needs to be somewhat polarizing. And people need to care. There must be a relevance. They have to give a shit. This is really predicated on relevancy and recency. Is there something that's trending right now, something that's happening? Is vampire facials going viral? Why should I care? But up top, if you're working in your organization, your marketing team want to make a video, which they hope is going to achieve a lot of organic reach, ask them these 3 questions. And if it doesn't tick at least 2, if not 3 of these boxes, you're not going to see organic viral growth. Then in the edit, you have to survive the first second. You have to survive the first fraction of a second. There's no space for, hello, my name's Yusuf Omar and welcome to. No, you got to get straight to the point in the opening second. Again, the thumb moves so quickly. 2, social media platforms are looking at retention. They want to look at how long you're watching a piece of content for. So you must build suspense. There has to be a reason in the opening few seconds of your video for people to keep watching till the end. Give them something to stick around for. And 3, there must be that TIL moment. Today I learned. Today I learned something. Because that therefore evokes an emotion. right? You watch something and you're either shocked, scared, alarmed, find it funny, but there must be a reason to either publicly share it or DM share it to somebody. And then the 3 analytical results that you're looking for. 1, you want to reduce the drop-offs in the opening few seconds. And that's a percentage, right? If you get like a 10 or 15% drop-off in the opening 3 seconds, you're pretty good. 2, you want to increase your overall watch time. If you guys are publishing like a 2 or 3 minute video, you want at least a 1 minute 30 watch time. At least 50% of your video should be watched by the majority of the audience. And 3, you want to focus on your share rate. You want at least 3% of the people that are watching your content to be hitting that share button. And again, if you hit all of those, you're pretty good. Now onto a viral script. So you guys can actually produce scripts that go viral for your organizations. This one is so simple and it works every single time. 1, start up with a problem that you have. My problem is, again, Harun, you did it yourself. He said, my problem is I was tired of these subscriptions happening. I didn't know, I wasn't able to track them. That's his problem, right? Then attach that problem to the user. Isn't that your problem too? Don't you also struggle with subscriptions and you don't know what you subscribe to? Right? You connect to the user. Second, imagine a world. This always works in 3s. Imagine a world where you could track your subscriptions. Imagine a world where you could cancel the ones you don't need. And imagine a world where you could save a bunch of money. Right? Imagine, imagine, imagine. And finally, that's the power of, was it Truebill? Truebill. Or insert any company there. Do you guys get that idea? Really simple. My problem is your problem. Imagine a world where we can do X, Y, and Z. That's the power of my company. Unfortunately, most people do the complete opposite. They start with, hey, I'm going to tell you about my company and why it's so awesome. Set up the problem and then move from there. In the context of Gaza, we've been able to work in a bunch of really exciting ways. 1, we've worked with creators. We've worked with 50 creators on the ground in the West Bank in Gaza since October 7th. We've published over 600 videos. We've generated over 500 million views. And we've become basically the de facto media company for UNRWA, UN, UNICEF, Oxfam, World Vision, Plan International, every NGO in the world. And it was really interesting. When the plausible genocide, as it's called, started, we offered our services to every NGO for free. And we worked with them for free for 6 months. Now, they all have marketing budgets for their work in Gaza. And they're able to support our work. It's just a piece of guidance that sometimes you do the right thing up top, it actually comes back and benefits you down the line. Second, we do explainers. And I hate to say this. Thank you. So we have the user-generated, we have the citizen journalism on the ground. This is what creates emotion, right? You emotionally connect with the story. Then we do explainers. This is then what actually educates you. So you emotionally connect and say, oh my God, Ahmed's just like me. I wonder why he's in this condition. Then you do explainers, and the explainer explains why. And then the third step is action. We create these augmented reality lenses. It's called the Coalition for Good, where you can choose a flag in collaboration with your country, the US flag or the Palestinian flag, for example, and you can share your message to the people of Palestine. So emotionally grab people, then educate them, then give them a call to action so that they can tell people about it. But the future is moving in a very, very, very exciting way when it comes to storytelling. By 2030, and remember this, I believe every single person in this room is going to be wearing some form of smart glasses. In fact, these ones that I'm wearing right now, these are by Snapchat. We created an app where you can see the Quran in English while you're praying in Arabic. I don't even know the halalness on that, but we've done it. But it's a very exciting future. That's called augmented reality. And most people think, well, why invest in that? It's on the headset. It's so many years away. Actually, it starts on mobile phones today. It's a huge amount of consumers around the world. If you look at a market like Saudi Arabia, the average Snapchat user opens their camera and uses AR filters 40 times a day. In the context of Gaza, do you guys remember when this all started? And, well, no, of course you don't, because it started 75 years ago. But you remember when this current episode started, in parts of Europe, they were making it very difficult for people to wave the Palestinian flag. But at the same time, they lit up the Eiffel Tower in the Israeli flag. So we created an augmented reality filter where you could point your phone on Snapchat at the Eiffel Tower in France, at London's Tower Bridge, and you could drape it in the Palestinian flag. And I think this is a really exciting opportunity for us as a community for 2 reasons. One, I just met one of the sisters, her name's Tasneem. She was talking about how she was trying to put billboards in the US with Palestinian flags and how 99% of those billboard companies said no. With augmented reality, we don't need anybody's permission. We can put whatever we want, wherever we want. That's the first point. And the second point is, we as a community did not really own the infrastructure of Web 1 and Web 2. Right? We find ourselves in a position today where we're being shadow banned, where we're being censored. We have no control over the audiences that we reach. It's a huge problem. If you believe, like I do, that the future is going to be Web3 on glasses overlaid onto the world, we still have an opportunity as a community to own the distribution, the production, the entire process. And I think that's really exciting and something we should work on together. If you guys want to support our work, this is Scene TV on Instagram. This is Scene Palestine, which is our Palestinian work. This is donations to Palestinian creators on the ground. 100% of funds go to Palestinian creators on the ground. And this is my email address. Jazakallah, we are seen, are you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we need another round of applause, guys. What do you think? Wow. Wow. That's really, I have no words right now. Like, I literally don't. But I think using and strategizing with augmented reality would definitely change the world and do many things. And I think that's something we should all, like, take a part of, especially me, because I'm learning something new today.